Am I audible now? I think I'm audible now. Hey Garamjeet, hi. Cool. So I was saying that normally I've seen that people focus most on quants. Somehow they feel that quant is going to save their day, but that's a wrong assumption. I have seen students in my last, I think, this is my 12th year of teaching. 11 years already crossed. 11 years, wow, that's a long time. And I have seen people focusing majorly on quants, then LRDI and VARC. They don't even focus on. They feel that, okay, it's not that important. It's just language, right? But CAT is a combination of lot of things. And quant, if I take the entire, the entire 100%, the entire portfolio which a candidate has while after when he gets admission to a B school, so the weightage of quant in top IIMs is hardly 12%, not more than that. As 50% goes to the VAT and PI stage, 50 and right, and 25 to 35% goes to CAT score, and in which quant is not even 1/3. So it can be 10% also. Okay. In some colleges, they give more focus on VARC, for example, FMS, even in IIM Bangalore and LRDI as well. So I'll tell you what, even if something is not very clear to you in quant, doesn't matter because you don't have the mathematicians. You just do arithmetic, algebra and geometry, things will be sorted. You have to do just 15 questions. And VARC is something which even if you know things, you might be attempting it wrong. And nobody is sure in language. Even we Indians do not know much about Hindi, isn't it? So that is the thing. And I somehow feel that you should be paying equal attention to VARC and LRDI as well. Or you have to crack the exam. You don't have to become the mathematicians. All right. Also, it's normally believed that VARC is the most boring of all. People don't like reading much. And in our age and our generation, it has happened somehow that we are more into reels. Our attention span is very low. We don't even watch 3 hours long movie. We somehow want to watch just 5-minute short movies or probably 30 seconds reels. And we don't want to read at all. And that is the reason that people are getting bad scores in VARC. But having said that, I, as a responsible trainer, I would like to, kind of involve a lot of illustrations, lot of examples from movies, from the Gen Z culture, so that you get, kind of attached to this and you feel focused and don't get bored. So that is where we'll start our VARC sessions. Today we'll be decoding it. We won't be doing much questions, but I'll make you realize how and why VARC is important and what has to be done for it. All right? Okay. Anand, I said quant is also important, but I said equal attention. Cool. So this is the VARC pattern for CAT. All right. As you can see here, total questions are 24. That's been happening from quite a long time now. And in which reading comprehension has got 16 questions divided in 4 unseen passages. You know what is unseen passage, isn't it? Unseen. Something which you have not seen ever. Which also means that you don't have to be experts in business, economics, psychology, philosophy, or whatever. You just have to, if not expert, then you have to be someone who likes reading a lot. And if you like reading a lot, automatically comprehension will be better. So it's not just reading, it's not just comprehension, it's reading comprehension. So you read something and you comprehend it at the same time. That is what comprehension means. Understanding and comprehension are two different things altogether. You understand a language, that's one thing. You comprehend the language, that means even if you don't know the words, let's say you don't know the words, some words, or majority of words, still you're able to comprehend the message or the author is trying to convey. Of course, a better vocab base always helps, but even if you don't know much of words, which a lot of people do not know even, and it's normally believed that a person is good in any language, in written, speaking and listening, when he has got a vocab base of at least 1500 words, which is which people mostly have. And experts have more than 5,000 words. And you know what? Shakespeare had 35,000 words vocabulary. So there's no end to vocabulary, and moreover, every day new words are being added up in the Oxford Dictionary. But still, I would like somehow that your vocab base should improve to at least 2,500 words. So, and I have chosen certain words which are very, I would say, frequent or probably relevant to different genre of RC passages. All right. By the way, how is the graphic? You know what? I took close to 5 hours to program this. And again, because I don't want to, kind of sound or look or convey something boring in terms of VARC, it should be as interesting as a Netflix film. All right. Vandit, word per minute is easy, not necessary, but yeah, it's advisable. Okay. Verbal ability, it has got 6 questions divided unequally among parajumbles, odd one out, parasummaries, fill in the blanks. Sometimes it's possible that they will give you all four, 6 questions, probably 2 in one in other, and it's also possible that they might be dropping off one out of them. So there are four different, I would say, types of questions: parajumbles, odd one out, parasummaries, and fill in the blanks. They might give you either any 3 or all 4 divided unequally between 6 questions. All right. So I think this is clear to all of you. And at the very same time, you also need to understand how much you have to do to score at least 99 percentile. For that, normally what happens, if you do, let's say, 4 questions out of 6 in verbal ability and 2.5 passages in RC. When I say 2.5, what does that mean? 2.5. 2.5 is like 2 passages completely and 1 passage partially, because 1 passage will be easy, always, 1 will be moderate, 2 will be moderate, 1 will be difficult. So let's say you choose 1 easy, 1 moderate, and 1 which is not of your interest, half of it. So that is how one should be aiming in solving this VARC section. All right. Dharya, some question which seems correct can go wrong. Of course, that's happened. That actually happens. Recent VRC one quiz, me and Vishal scored this and got -4 as well. So should we directly skip unsure? Of course, you should skip unsure questions. By the way, this is not the time to talk about how to attempt the VRC section, because that is something which will come later in our preparation. Right now, we just have to do everything, and 3 months down the line, we'll be starting with doing things which are relevant to the strategy of taking exams. Okay, now we'll go to the next slide. Types of questions in reading comprehension. Types of questions in reading comprehension. Priya, I'll come to that. When I go to vocab section, I will come to that also. Nishan, I'll tell everything. So first of all, we need to understand what kind of questions are asked. There are multiple types of questions, but I have from my experience, I have made a list. The first type is main idea based questions. Main idea. So a question which looks like this: what is the central idea of the passage? It can be main idea, central idea, primary purpose, main purpose. All these sorts of questions are main idea based questions. Okay. What is the main purpose of the given passage? The main point that the passage implies is which of the options properly implies gist of the passage. Gist. These are keywords, like main idea, central idea, main purpose, gist of the passage. The structure of the passage can be best described by. So these kind of questions, when they ask, they are main idea based questions. So when we say main idea or central idea, what does that mean? A passage, if you read something, let's say you read an article. In that article, and the article is all about how Chinese markets, how Chinese manufacturers or probably the Chinese service providers are entering into every market globally. So that can be the main idea, right? And there can be a lot of supporting ideas as well. Supporting ideas. Yeah, Arpita, taken. Supporting ideas. So whenever if the example, as I gave an example, how Chinese manufacturing are infiltrating every market, that is the main idea. That how they are doing it, probably by cheap labor, or maybe by because they can change the currency the way they want to, all that stuff, and there can be a lot of supporting ideas also. For example, some kind of trade war between US and China, or also some kind of geopolitical reason. So those can be supporting ideas. All right. So in this kind of questions, we can have main idea and supporting ideas as well. Now, how to identify what is main and what is supporting? So let's say a passage is divided into 4 different paragraphs. If you read entire thing, you'll find a line of connection in all the paragraphs. That is the main idea or central idea or main purpose or central purpose or the gist. And in all the paragraphs, there will be different kind of things which will mention in terms of examples, in terms of reasons, conclusions, inferences. Those are the supporting ideas. Is that clear, everyone? Yes, Shairi, karenge wo bhi. Is that clear, everyone? Okay. Now, the next type is title-based questions. Title-based questions. So, there will be a paragraph, there will be a passage, and they might ask you that what is the most suitable title of the passage. Like, this can be a kind of question. The most apt title for the passage is what? The title of the passage can be perfectly represented by. So, these kind of things, when they ask the title-based questions, these questions are not very frequent. They might ask one question probably in the entire 1 year, 3 slots combined. But these can be important, and how to answer these questions. First, understand the context of the passage and identify the subject accurately. Subject, make idioms your friends. All right, make idioms your friends. Why I say that? Because most of the times it happens that there can be a passage which can be talking about, let's say, politics or probably society, arts, culture, whatever. But at the very same time, all those examples can be connected to certain idiom. Like a stitch in time saves 9. That's an idiom, isn't it? Idioms, phrases. A stitch in time saves 9. So now this particular phrase can be extrapolated to different genres, different aspects, different ideologies, different kind of segments, different aspects, right? So a stitch in time, it can have a political connection also, isn't it? That is a possibility. It can also have some kind of environmental concern, right? Right? So for that, I have written a book called Idioms and Phrases, and I'll be giving it to you a free PDF in the FB group after the class. So make sure you ask me that in case I forget, but I won't. So I'll be sending you a book in which I have compiled, I think, close to 70 idioms, phrases, which might be helpful for you. All right? Idioms, muhavre, ठीक है? Muhavre, idioms, phrases, proverbs, muhavre. Inference-based questions. Now, these are the most important and most frequent questions. Most important, most frequent. If you look at any, let's say there is a passage in which there are 4 questions. Normally, you would find 2 questions which will be inference-based in some case, in some other way. Kashish, idiom is muhavra. Okay, do you guys want me to speak in Hindi as well, like bilingual? All right. English is good. By the way, I fashionably say that Hindi is my mother and English is my girlfriend. It's possible for a man to love them both, isn't it? Oh, Yanik, there's a proverb, right? बन गई एक लोकोक्ति. तो दोनों भाषा बात करेंगे and nothing will be lost in translation. तबीयत अच्छी है बबलू, थैंक्स फॉर आस्किंग. अतिशय, यू कैन स्कोर मोर देन 95. 90 छोटी बात है, छोड़ दो उसको. So these are most important. Pick any passage, any previous year question from anywhere, and you'll always find there are two questions which are somehow inference based. तो ये कैसे मालूम पड़ेगा कि क्वेश्चन इन्फ्रेंस बेस्ड है? सिंपल लिख ही देगा वो, व्हाट कैन बी इन्फर्ड फ्रॉम दिस सेंटेंस. सेंटेंस विल बी एनीथिंग फ्रॉम द पैसेज. व्हाट डज द सेंटेंस दिस इम्प्लाई? सो व्हेन दे से इम्प्लाई, दैट इज ऑल्सो इन्फ्रेंस. ऑलराइट, Janvi, you can just go to Facebook, type CAT preparation iQuanta, you'll get the group. Third, it can be inferred from the passage that what does the author mean by the line. So here infer word is not used. I mean by the line, there will be line given to you and you do inference. By the way, हमें समझना चाहिए कि ये inference जैसा एक और word है, और वो word कौन सा है? Conclusion. तो conclusion and inference, these two words look almost same. By the way, who among you will try to tell me difference between conclusion and inference? कौन बताएगा कि conclusion क्या होता है और inference क्या होता है? Anyone? Is there any difference? See, the difference is conclusion is always a kind of, a last line or a last passage or last few words which kind of encompass the key ideas of the entire passage, that we have concluded it like this. हो सकता है कि 1 घंटे भाषण देने के बाद मोदी जी एक लाइन में कंक्लूड कर दें. दैट इज कंक्लूजन. जितनी बड़ी बात कही गई थी वो सारी बातें एक लाइन में कैसे कही जाएं, दैट इज कंक्लूजन, राइट? एंड inference is something, the derivation of unknown from the known. सुनने में फिलोसफिकल लग रहा है. डेरिवेशन ऑफ अननोन फ्रॉम दी नोन. कि कोई एक बात जो नोन है, जो हम जानते हैं, वो पैसेज के अंदर लिखी हुई थी, और जो बातें अननोन थी मतलब पैसेज में नहीं लिखी गई थी, बट हमारे आंसर स्टेटमेंट्स में थी, ऑप्शंस में थी. अंडरस्टूड? तो नोन इज फ्रॉम द पैसेज. When I say known from passage, तुम बोलोगे यार फिर ऐसा क्यों कि known तो बहुत चीज़ें होती हैं, हमने इतनी पढ़ाई की है, दुनिया देखी है, वो भी तो known है. नहीं, whatever is given in the passage, that is your world for the time when you're attempting that question. Do you get it? कितना भी ज्ञान आपको हो, सबका आपको भूलना होता है when you read a passage. So the entire universe is that passage only. You cannot assume anything unwarranted which is not in the passage. Is that clear? So known is the passage, unknown is the answer statements, answer options. Clear? Got it now? All right. अच्छा, कई बार ऐसा भी होता है कुछ क्वेश्चंस में कि जो चीज़ पैसेज में लिखी गई है वो वैसी की वैसी ही लिख दी जाए, और बाकी 3 ऑप्शंस बिल्कुल इररेलेवेंट हो जाएं. उस केस में we'll choose the line which is directly lifted from the passage. By the way, by definition, it's not an inference, but in the absence of better options, we can choose that to be the inference, which sometimes happens, not always. Clear? Yes, Abhinav, of course. देखो, आपने एक पैसेज पढ़ा, उस पैसेज में कई बातें लिखी हुई हैं. मान लो एक travelogue है, a travelogue or a memoir. So someone went somewhere, someone went to, some forest, एंड वहाँ पे उसने झरना देखा, पानी देखा, नहाया, खेला, कूदा, वट एवर, ऑल दोज थिंग्स दैट गाई हैज़ डन इन अ नैरेटिव काइंड ऑफ पैसेज। तो वो सारी बातें आपके नोन हो गई क्योंकि उसने डायरेक्टली बोल दी हैं पैसेज के अंदर, ठीक है। अब उसने एक शेर देखा और वहाँ से भाग खड़ा हुआ, ये पैसेज में लिखा हुआ है, तो इन्फ्रेंस हम क्या कर सकते हैं सिंपल भाषा में कि वो शेर से डरता है। इज दैट क्लियर? अंडरस्टूड? Right? I hope you get it now. So that guy saw the lion and ran away, and then after that the inference is that he was scared of lions. All right, perfect. A very simple inference. मैंने एग्जाम्पल सिंपल दिया था, बहुत कॉम्प्लेक्स भी हो सकते हैं. We can do that when once we start with the practice. And again, no, I won't share the slide because this slide is kind of, it's my intellectual property. I won't share that. You can, of course, look at this recording anywhere, anytime you want to. Okay, how to do that? Identify inference sources. Now, inference sources are the sources. For example, the example that I gave you about lines, that is an inference. Or probably, there's one more example. So let's say someone is in a passage, the author is talking about his experiences with dogs. Okay, experiences with. नो अर्पिता, एजम्पशन नहीं होगा कि वो आंसर स्टेटमेंट्स के अंदर से ही उठाना पड़ेगा आपको ना, अलग से ज्यूम नहीं कर सकते, ठीक है? ओके, सो लेट्स से देयर इज एन ऑथर हु टॉक्स अबाउट डॉग्स एंड ही कीप्स ऑन टॉकिंग अबाउट डॉग्स इन सच अ वे दैट you look, you feel that this person likes dogs. So there will be sources there. For example, he might be using certain words, जैसे कि that was a cute puppy, right? That dog understood my emotions. ये बन गए इन्फ्रेंस सोर्सेज. इन सोर्सेज से हम समझ पाते हैं कि इस इंसान को डॉग्स पसंद है. I'll give you one very famous example. Everyone relate to it. John Wick. John Wick क्या बोलता है? So when this underworld Don का बेटा, he comes to John Wick and he says, why did you kill everyone? It was just I won't say that word out loud here in public podium. It was just so about to say that word and John Wick kills him, right? And walks away. What does that mean? John Wick liked dogs a lot. That's an inference source. Without saying, John Wick said that. Clear? Okay. If a particular sentence is given, read the entire paragraph and check for the particular clues. कि एक सेंटेंस दिया गया, बोला बताओ इस सेंटेंस से आप क्या इन्फर करते हैं, तो वो सेंटेंस जहां पे भी जिस पैराग्राफ में था, you will have to read the entire paragraph and then look for clues as I gave the example of the clues. Third, understand the context and idea of the entire passage. इसके बिना इन्फ्रेंस करना impossible है. Probably in one paragraph they're talking about something which is just a supporting idea but is not in sync with the main idea of the passage. तो उसको सही मान के इन्फर कर दिया तो गलत भी हो सकता है. You need to understand the context and the entire idea. I hope everyone is clear about it, right? Just a beep, exactly, Ayush. Then comes fact-based questions. इनसे बेटर तो कुछ भी नहीं होता. कोई चीज लिखी है, उसी पे सवाल पूछ लिया गया. So when does that happen? Normally, these kind of questions come in the passage which are science and technology based. Science and technology based. Okay. Or things which have some kind of empirical existence. जो चीज़ें पब्लिश हो चुकी हैं, वेरीफाई हो चुकी हैं, थ्योरम बन चुके हैं, all those stuff will come under science and technology, right? For example, if you remember the Agman quiz, the previous Agman VRC quiz, the second passage was about linguistics. Remember that? Noun phrases, NPs, C commands, right? तो वो बहुत ही टेक्निकल सा पैसेज था. ऐसे पैसेजेस में जो क्वेश्चन बन सकते हैं वो फैक्ट बेस्ड ही बन सकते हैं. Very common. And I tell you what, these questions are mostly easy. One should attempt these questions always. Clear? I hope you're making notes. ठीक है? जैसे पूछ लेगा कि कहीं पे लिखा गया था, कोई बात थी किसी बंदे के बारे में पैसेज के अंदर कि उसने ऐसा ऐसा किया था, इस जगह पे जाके, इस जगह में इस साल में इतना कुछ किया था. तो ये फैक्ट बेस्ड क्वेश्चन कैसे बनेगा कि वो इंसान इनमें से क्या सही है. फॉर एग्जाम्पल समवन सेज he went to Andalusia. He went to Andalusia in Spain in 1843 AD in the evening. Clear? I'm repeating. He went to Andalusia, or in 1843 he went to Andalusia in the evening. अब वो पूछेगा क्वेश्चन में विच ऑफ द फॉलोइंग इज करेक्ट. तो पता कैसे कर देगा वो कंफ्यूज करेगा आपको. वो बोलेगा ही वेंट टू एंडेलुशिया in 1943 या 1844 in the morning. Is that clear? So sometimes these questions are so easy that because the people feel that it's very difficult and people tend to lose focus and they mark it wrong. ये है fact based question का perfect example. Clear? Okay. So what kind of questions are asked when they are fact based questions? Whenever you have something, these are the prompts. According to the passage, what is this? A direct question, direct data question. उसे हम direct data question भी बोलते हैं, fact based question भी बोलते हैं. Which of the following sentences include incorrect facts? Dharya, I know. Yeah. I'll give you more examples. Why do repeat? Then n number of examples, Ritvik. Which of the following sentences include incorrect facts? So now, this is very difficult. Incorrect facts, because once you read the correct facts, and a correct fact is, let's say, composed of 5 different facts. ठीक है? For example, a sentence has name, place, animal, thing, time. All these things are there. So if I can make 4 different statements, I can just change the name or the place or the thing or the time and make an incorrect statement. ऐसा होता है ना. समझ में आया कि 4 बातें थी, 4 चीजें थी, 3 सही थी, आप जल्दीबाजी में उसको टिक कर दोगे, रॉन्ग हो जाएगा. अंडरस्टूड? दिस इज वेरी कॉमन इन कैट. अकॉर्डिंग टू द पैसेज, which of the following statements is correct? According to the author, what does this sentence, what a sentence is there, mean? So how to answer these kind of questions and what is required? First, the key facts. Key facts. I said facts, not the ideas, right? Ideas नहीं बोल रहा मैं बोल रहा हूँ facts, not the ideas. Key ideas will be used in answering main idea type questions or sometimes in inference based questions. Logical or inferential facts are also asked in this type when they are fact based. Yes. Coming to tone based questions. I'll tell you what. CAT के पूरे इतिहास में, पिछले 15 साल के इतिहास में, एक भी टोन बेस्ड क्वेश्चन नहीं पूछा गया. मतलब टोन बेस्ड क्वेश्चन पूछा गया बट टोन नहीं पूछा गया. So you must have seen that we talk about tones. The tone is angry, the tone is vitriolic, tone is caustic, tone is friendly, tone is ambiguous, tone is narrative, descriptive, whatever. But never in CAT they have asked a question which is like, what is the tone of the passage? कभी नहीं होता. तब भी हम पढ़ते हैं. क्यों? क्यों? I'll give you an example. This is from some OMET, not CAT. What attitude of the author can be inferred from the following sentence? Attitude. Okay, they won't ever ask you what's the tone of the author. नहीं, इतना direct CAT में नहीं पूछते. What attitude is he having? So how to understand this? When you read a passage, majorly things are 3 types: positive, neutral, or negative. Within positive, there are a lot of tones. Neutral, there are a lot of tones. And negative, we have a lot of other tones. So I'll take a special session on tones specifically. We're talking about positive, neutral, negative and how to identify them. But अभी शुरुआत के लिए ये समझना जरूरी है कि किसी भी पैसेज पढ़ोगे आप, automatically you will get something is going positive, something is going negative, something is just being logical, it's neutral, right? So all these things must be kept in mind while reading anything. And I'll give you homework to read something. Okay, so then in the next class that we meet, ready with the homework. Avoid the most extreme answer choices. ठीक है, आम तौर पे ये क्यों मैंने बोला, what's the reason? I'll tell you what. In normal life what happens? in normal life, like you talk to your friends, your family and everyone. So we tend to, kind of dramatize things, isn't it? वो मुझसे बहुत प्यार करता है, वो मुझसे बहुत नफरत करती है, isn't it? उसने मेरा मूड खराब कर डाला, हम ऐसे बोलते हैं, है ना? मेरी तो लाइफ ही खराब है, मेरा तो बैड लक ही खराब हो गया, all that stuff. We tend to say that. They're extreme, they're dramatic, right? So normally humans are dramatic. Humans are dramatic because humans have got this gift of language. And most of the things that we say we do not mean, right? But when it's in written language, written word, उस टाइम पे अगर आप extreme आंसर choices करोगे, that will be wrong. The reason is very simple. Why? Because whatever is written has to be true, isn't it? So we say things, we don't write those things in the book, isn't it? है ना? कभी देखा है किसी आर्टिकल में लिखा हो कि चीफ मिनिस्टर का मूड खराब हो गया, तुमने बोला कि मारो इनको? कभी सुना है ऐसा? नहीं. ठीक है, ये हम बोल सकते हैं, लिख नहीं सकते. आई होप दैट इज क्लियर टू यू, राइट? Okay, cool. So avoid that most extreme. Zisha has got a query. Both these of questions are asked in inference and fact-based. What do you mean by the following line? What does the author mean in the following line? When they say mean, that will be inference. If, see, okay, Zisha, I got your query. It all depends on the answer options. It's not necessary that something will be inference based because of this kind of statement. It also depends on the kind of answer choices that we have. Okay. Then comes vocabulary based questions. Vocabulary based questions. Which word means the same as some word will be given to you. And they might not ask direct synonyms or direct antonyms unless it is omits other management exams, not CAT. Sometimes in SNAP, etc., they might be asking you direct meanings. But in CAT, they always go by context. Context. For example, I have seen questions like, what will be the best replacement for this phrase or for this word or for this line? That can be something which they might be asking you, and they will be under vocabulary based questions. All right. So these kind of questions, and why they don't ask that vocabulary, because CAT also knows a person cannot know all the words, isn't it? But can a person understand the significance or context of certain word in a given paragraph? So that is something which CAT tests you in, because that is what a manager should have. Okay, so let's say you're an Indian manager, you are working with an MNC, and probably there are certain words which are culture specific. For example, yaar. Even in English, while speaking English, which is not our language, we tend to say, yaar, let's do this. है ना? We say that, right? बहुत लोग करते हैं आजकल, है ना? Don't take panga with me. Heard that? So these are the, now a person who doesn't know these words might be a Britisher, but depending on how the word has been used, he might be able to understand that panga means something bad. Got it? Is that clear? So that is contextual meaning. So what can be done? Strong vocabulary. It is kind of a suggestion, but it's not the, I would say, it's not definite. I won't say it is very important. Vocabulary should be strong, and I'll make sure that the vocabulary becomes strong, because I'll be taking, I think, regular sessions. Probably I will make a YouTube list of the words which are very important, and contextual meaning can be understood only by reading a lot. ठीक है, अब आते हैं books के ऊपर. People were saying, should you read this book or that book? Actually, what? Don't read any books unless I feel it is very important, because I am trying. I will, the kind of curriculum or pedagogy that I'm making, I don't think a book will be required. because you won't be knowing that to what extent you have to go. So I don't want you to waste your time in doing things which are not important for CAT right now, this year. In life, it can be important, बाद में पढ़ लेना. अभी क्या करो? I'm trying to make a vocab playlist on YouTube, and I'm launching it soon, probably in 2 weeks, and you can go with that. So the kind of playlist I'm making will be phobias. Phobias are fear, unreasonable fear, right? By the way, how many of you have some kind of fear or phobia? कई लोगों को पता ही नहीं होता कि फोबिया है भी कि नहीं. किसी ने सांप देखा ही नहीं, उसे पता ही चला सांप का फोबिया है भी कि नहीं उसे. है ना? Mania. Mania. For example, there's a very famous word called megalomaniac. Heard about that? Megalomaniac. A person who has this kind of superiority complex कि मैं ही सब जानता हूँ, मुझे ही सब पता है, बाकी सब ऐसे ही हैं. Megalomania. Right? Atif, I'll come to that. A word like kleptomania. What about that? Kleptomania is very common. People who have this, the unusual urge of stealing things. Stealing things. देखा है कभी? लोग जाते हैं दुकानों पे. आमतौर पे बहुत देखा गया था, पहले बहुत कॉमन था, अभी तो आजकल because in the metro cities we don't actually go to the markets, we just order things online. But earlier it was normally seen, even in towns it is seen that a lot of people, they go to markets, vegetable markets. वो क्या बोलेंगे? और पता है वो बातें करते हैं. I have seen some aunties, I was in Chandigarh, and they were talking about how proud they were to steal one onion or one potato or one tomato या एक धनिया का पत्ता. देखा है ऐसा कि मैं गई, मैंने बोला अरे वो आलू देना, उसने वहाँ देखा, मैंने पैर उठा के जेब में डाल लिया. राइट? क्लेप्टोमेनिया. सो क्लेप्टोमेनिया जिनको होगा जरूरी नहीं कि चोर बन जाए, नॉट रियली, बट दीज पीपल कैन हैव एन अनयूजुअल अर्ज. ऐसा करने से उन्हें फ़र्क नहीं पड़ता, ऐसा करने से सामने को नुकसान भी नहीं होगा, है ना. एंड समटाइम्स इवन द vegetable vendors, they know it that this aunt is going to steal an onion, but okay, वो भी चालाक होता है, दाम बढ़ा के बोल देता है. Okay, then comes quants, profit and loss. Ologies and onomies, taxology, taxonomy, biology, psychology, all these words. Figure of speech, figures of speech. I have written a book and I'll give it to you, as a PDF. And same with these books I have written, I'll give it to you. Business-based vocabulary, mythology-based vocabulary, psychology-based vocabulary, and many more. Depending on, like I have close to 1,000 odd words which might be helpful to you. So I'll share that in YouTube playlist. All right. Okay. I think you guys enjoyed that example. It's very, I will say relatable. बचपन में एक मेरा पड़ोसी था, मेरी एज का, हम दोनों 10-11 साल के रहे होंगे. बोला चल वहाँ से जाके टॉफ़ी खरीद के लाते हैं या चॉकलेट खरीद के लाते हैं. वी वेंट देयर एंड ही वुड से वो चॉकलेट, वो दुकानदार पीछे देखता था एंड ही यूज्ड टू पिक वन टॉफ़ी. सो क्लेप्टोमेनियक. एनीवेज, नाउ कमिंग टू जॉनर्स ऑफ रीडिंग कॉम्प्रिहेंशन पैसेजेस. Arachnophobia, Ayush? Spiders. Okay. So, first is history. Why I kept history in the first? Because history, I would say, is the most common genre that I have seen. In fact, history, arts, culture, if I combine them all, in the last year, VRC section, in all the 3 slots, there were 2 passages which were from history, arts, society combined. 4 में 2 उनमें से ही थे. All right. आयुष, अच्छा हुआ ऐसा तुम्हारे साथ हुआ तो हिस्ट्री इज़ वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. नाउ व्हाई, यू वुड से व्हाई हिस्ट्री इज़ इंपॉर्टेंट. यार इनको क्या ज़रूरत है हिस्ट्री पढ़ने की. सो Normally, okay, I'll tell you the other genres, tell you, and then I'll tell why history is so important. I never liked history to be true, right? Now I have started liking history somehow. पहले मैं नहीं पढ़ता था. Psychology. I love this illustration somehow, seriously. A child and artist is hiding inside me. वो बाहर आ ही जाता है. Look at this. Psychology, okay? Then science. DNA, this is magnet, test tube, oyster, mollusk, nitrogen. This is earth, which is having some eclipse. And then we have leaves, right? So these are also important genres. Then they can be business and economics. ये भी बहुत common है. After history is the most common. Philosophy. All right. Then comes art, society, and culture. So history, art, society, culture, they combine, they become the most important. Environment, which is also very important. Very important. Recently, I have seen one passage. In the last year, there was one passage each in 2 slots from environment. Okay. And then miscellaneous. It can be a mixture of lot of things. Lot of things. So, if we try to generalize all the genre in CAT VARC section, so normally you cannot pick only one genre in one RC passage. That is not possible. It will be combination of lot of things. जैसे कि history इतनी important क्यों बन जाती है passage? So it's history plus arts plus culture. At the very same time, there can be some kind of business aspect to it also. समझ गए? Business aspect भी आ सकता है किसी न किसी तरीके से. तो जैसे कि मोहनजोदारो में, जो कि हिस्ट्री का पैसेज हो गया, आर्ट्स कल्चर भी इसमें हो गई. मोहनजोदारो में हमें, फॉर एग्जाम्पल, यू नो, अ पैसेज, आई रेड अ पैसेज, इट गोज लाइक दिस. देयर वाज एन आर्कियोलॉजिस्ट इन द मॉडर्न वर्ल्ड. ही वेंट समवेयर, डग द ग्राउंड, ही गॉट द सील्स. सील्स पता है आपको? पुराने ज़माने की जिस पे नक्काशी हुआ करती थी. सील्स. लुकिंग एट दो सील्स, looking on those seals, they tried to, you know, derive, deduce what kind of art, society, culture was there. And in that, a lot of technology was used, mathematics was used, things were used. So essentially, a genre, there'll be not a fixed genre, it will be a mix of different genre, at least 2. That is how RC passages are made. And when they give you this kind of genre, basically they want to test you whether you, how avid and reader you are, and more you know about things, better you will be in decision making. That is the reason. ठीक है? Opinion of editorial नहीं होता विशाल, वो नहीं होता. Trading in earliness, Zisha, exactly. Okay. Once I saw a passage. And before going on to next, because today I said I won't be doing much questions, but today we'll be doing 2 questions of verbal ability. RC हम आज नहीं करेंगे. I wanted you to get into feel. We do the RC 2 VA करेंगे, एक Parajumble करेंगे, एक Parasummary करेंगे. But before that, I'll tell you one passage जो मुझे सबसे ज़्यादा haunt करता है आज भी. And that is one of the reasons why I chose VRC as a subject to, you know, train people in. बताऊँ? You want to know the most haunting passage that I have read? It was in CAT. I don't know when, probably in some mock which I gave, 10 years back. You want to know? So that was about. It looked like it is from science technology. It was about a game, a video game. Okay, and I kept on reading it. A video game, how it can haunt you? Video game ही तो है. तो a person, the author was trying to, narrate his experience while playing a video game. And that video game was like this, that you have to go, you have strategy, it's a mission-based game, you go everywhere. There are roads, there are pathways, there are subways, there are oceans, there are mountains. So it's a huge landscape in the game. Okay, so this person, while navigating his way through the strategies, through the missions, he also tried to, kind of look around at what is happening. So even if something was not part of the mission, he just wanted to go everywhere and try to look at things, that how things are happening. And he's looking at the kind of, the people who were there. Somehow he felt, okay, ठीक है, इस बंदे का चेहरा ऐसा है, इसका कॉम्प्लेक्शन चेंज कर दिया गया है, ऐसा चेहरा मैंने पहले भी देखा हुआ है, right? I have seen same kind of person somewhere, probably 10 मिनट पहले किसी और जगह पे देखा था, बस इसका चेहरा थोड़ा रंग चेंज कर दिया गया है, इसकी मूछें ला दी है, या फिर इसके हैट लगा दी गई है, या कैप लगा दिया, चश्मा लगा दिया गया. So now the person who was playing the game, he was trying to understand that how prototypes must have been made. How prototypes must have been made. कि एक उन्होंने बनाया होगा कोई एक मॉडल, उसके डिफरेंट वेरिएंट्स बना के इन्होंने सारे कैरेक्टर्स बना दिए, isn't it? And he keeps on doing this, and then he kills someone. Like killing was also part of the mission. And then he goes, he crosses the mountains. There is a cave there. He somehow reaches that cave, which is not a part of the missions. And in that cave, he enters the cave, and it is all dark. There is very small, kind of some light source, sun ray coming there, and he saw there were dead bodies lying. And those dead bodies were of the people he had killed in the game. It gives me goosebumps actually. If it is visible, see, goosebumps. Think about it. So that was an RC passage. It can absorb you inside. So that, I did not know what the genre is. Philosophy, psychology, was it technology, what it actually was. So it had got so many aspects. So I gave you this example because reading can be fun at times. And I'll give you some sources to read. The first source that I'll recommend you is Eon. Eon essays. One of the favorite, I would say, source for CAT RC makers. Then there is medium.com. Majorly for science, they go to Medium. For psychology and philosophy, they go to Eon. Eon has majority of psychology and philosophy based essays. All right. Then there's one thing which I want to suggest to you. Try to read, if possible, at least Sunday editorials, The Hindu. Try to read the Hindu editorials at least on Sundays. Read as much as possible, but I know because we have limited time, we cannot do everything, but try to read them on Sundays. That is very important. And probably I would make some kind of pedagogy through which all of us can connect together, and I might give you some kind of homework that this is what you have to read and write a précis out of it. So that can actually help you in doing this. If you are interested, we can do that as well. And apart from this, I'll be suggesting some novels. So because CAT will be in the month of November and novels can be huge, so I'll just suggest you 3 novels to be done in 3 months. Okay, we can start with Animal Farm. Animal Farm is an allegorical novel. If you have read it, great. If not, you should read it. Okay. And apart from this, in the register also give some kind of reading list, probably a passage maybe every day or on alternate days. I'll also start doing that. These are things which you start with. Let's start with this, okay? These things. Suggested readings. At the very same time, there's one more thing. Vandit, for business, yes, good Vandit. Glad you asked. For that, you can go to, you can pick a newspaper called Business Standard or the Economic Times. It's of Times Group, Economic Times. But do not read a lot of it because CAT will never ask you GK. I'm assisting you just to get a hang of different kind of genres. So you can do this on Sundays, not every day. है ना कि GK नहीं आएगा उसके अंदर. Got it? Clear? Dharya, well done. Cool. And apart from suggested readings, also, because as I told you, English can be your girlfriend, and how to love your girlfriend by going close to her. So try to read as much English as possible, which I gave you suggested reading. Also try to feel, like this and try to watch certain movies. I will be recommending you some movies, the movies which can be, you know, kind of helpful to you in terms of understanding English and also the contextual words, also the culture, at very same time getting you some kind of business acumen. All right, सपना एक से शुरू करते हैं, बाकी दो बाद में बताऊंगा. विशाल होता है टाइम्स ऑफ इंडिया में एडिटोरियल बिल्कुल होता है, बट गो टू द हिंदू वन. ओके, सो नाउ कमिंग टू द क्वेश्चन. Here comes the first question. This is a para summary. The paragraph is here. The options are there. I give you 5 minutes. Try to answer this. All right, so I can see a lot of people have answered it. Darya नीचे से चौथा है वाह okay all that we think we know about how life hangs together is really some kind of illusion that we have perpetrated on ourselves because of our limited vision. मतलब ये हम मानते हैं क्यों? क्योंकि हमारी विजन लिमिटेड है. When they say vision, what does that mean? Contextual meaning. Vision. क्या वो हमारी नज़र की बात कर रहा है? Who wants to tell me that? कि हम कितना देख पा रहे हैं. Vision has been used in a different meaning altogether, right? है ना? क्या मतलब विजन का हुआ? हमारा पर्सपेक्टिव. It's talking perspective. Understood? So vision here is the perspective. Our limited perspectives. Thinking. Soch. Exactly. Imagination. What appear to be inanimate objects such as stones turn out not only to be alive in the same way that we are, but also in many infinitesimal ways to be affected by stimuli, just as humans are. Infinitesimal is छोटे छोटे बहुत सारे टुकड़े. समझ में आई बात ये? इन्फिनाइटसिमल छोटे छोटे बहुत सारे टुकड़े. ओके सो जो हमें लगता है कि इनएनिमेट है, निर्जीव है, निर्जीव वस्तु जैसे कि पत्थर. आई एम यूजिंग वेरी डिफिकल्ट हिंदी, आई होप ऑल ऑफ यू नो दैट. है ना? जिनमें जान नहीं है, ऐसे इनएनिमेट ऑब्जेक्ट्स स्टोन्स टर्न आउट नॉट टू बी ओनली टू बी अलाइव. सिर्फ जिंदा ही नहीं है, कई छोटे छोटे इन्फानाइट तरीकों से वो उसी तरह से स्टिमुलाई. व्हाट इज स्टिमुलाई? यू वांट अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट इज स्टिमुलाई? Stimuli is, for example, I give you something to think. That's the stimulus, and you start thinking. That's the action. Stimulus is the singular, stimuli is the plural. Okay, a very famous example, touch me not. There's a plant. You know that, right? Touch me not plant. देखा है? छूते ही वो मुरझा जाता है. Reaction to stimuli, जो बहुत ही फेमस था बचपन में किताबों में. Okay, so जिस तरह से हम इंसान स्टिमुलस से अफेक्ट होते हैं, उसी तरीके से पत्थर भी होते हैं. द डिस्टिंक्शन बिटवीन एनिमेट एंड इनएनिमेट सिंपली कैन नॉट बी मेड व्हेन यू एंटर द वर्ल्ड ऑफ क्वांटम मैकेनिक्स एंड ट्राई टू डिटरमाइन हाउ दोज एपरेंट सब एटॉमिक पार्टिकल्स of which you and everything else in the universe is composed are all tied together. Now, when they say quantum mechanics, I know a lot of people do not know what quantum mechanics is, but at the very same time, a lot of you must have seen movies like Doctor Strange, and the best example is Ant-Man. Ant-Man, second part. Remember that? जब उनकी wife, played by Michelle Pfeiffer, if I'm not wrong, Michelle Pfeiffer played the wasp character, and she was lost in the subatomic realm. Remember that? तो उस रेम के अंदर अलग टाइप के जानवर हुआ करते थे. पता चलता नहीं कौन सी जिंदा है, कौन सी निर्जीव है. Isn't it? So possibly if someone goes inside us at the subatomic level, at that time it won't even realize whether this is human or stone. Isn't it? Sneak peek, I'm good. है ना? अगर तुम्हारी बॉडी के सब एटॉमिक पार्ट्स में घुस जाए, उसे पता ही नहीं चलेगा कि ये लिवर के अंदर घुसा है या पत्थर के अंदर घुसा है. अंडरस्टूड? So that is what they're trying to mean by it. I think I give you an example which all of you relate to. The point is that physics and metaphysics show there is a pattern to the universe that goes beyond our capacity to grasp it with our brains. Because our brains are somehow, हमें क्या लगता है, हमने क्या किया है, हम बचपन से हम पढ़ते आ रहे हैं, living things are those which can move, which can reproduce, which can eat, which can do all that stuff. Those are living things. But who decided that they are living things? It's us who decided that. Isn't it? है ना ऐसा? इंसान ही बताता है कि कौन ये जानवर है, कि ये पौधा है, या ये इंसान है, ये प्राइमेट है, ये बंदर है, ये सांप है, ये रेप्टाइल है, या ये निर्जीव है. So how would a human know? Because human is also a living thing, and based on humans' view, humans' vision, humans' perception, humans are deciding which is living and which is not. Right? Cool. So let's look at the options one by one. First option is arbitrary distinctions between inanimate and animate objects disappear at the scale at which quantum mechanics works. By the way, the entire passage is all about that only. कि किस तरह ह्यूमन इमेजिनेशन उसके ब्रेन्स उसके सेंस ऑर्गन्स के कारण लिमिटेड है और क्वांटम मैकेनिक्स में वो चीज़ें अलग हो जाती हैं. So I think A is the best possible option. I'll just put a question mark and read the others and try to, in absence of a better option, this is going to be the correct answer. Second, quantum physics indicates that an astigmatic view of reality results in erroneous assumptions about the universe. So astigmatic is like, a kind of a limited view of reality results in erroneous मतलब error से भरे हुए गलत assumptions about the universe. ये क्वांटम फिजिक्स इंडिकेट करती है. इस बात को बोला तो गया है, लेकिन ये बात पूरा समराइज नहीं कर पा रही. क्यों? क्योंकि इसके अंदर एनी लिविंग और नॉन लिविंग थिंग की बात की नहीं गई है. दैट इज वाई बी इज पार्शियली करेक्ट. इट इज नॉट encompassing all the key ideas. All right. Well, third, the inanimate world is both sentient and cognizant like its animate counterpart. Now this is something which is a very extreme statement, isn't it? ये extreme है. ऑथर ने बोला है क्वांटम लेवल पे सब एक जैसे होते हैं, बट ये नहीं बोला है कि inanimate object is also sentient. What is sentient? You know that? Sentient, something which thinks. Cognizant, which has cognitive abilities, for example language, understanding, memory. तो ये बात बोली नहीं गई है. It's an extreme statement, that is why it is wrong. Cool. Fourth, the effect of stimuli is similar in animate objects when compared to animate objects or living beings. Again, an extreme statement. This has been somehow indicated to, but this is not the exact statement that one wants to make. So first will be the most appropriate answer. Clear? धैर्य, बिल्कुल सही बात है. Perfect. Coming to the last question of today, Parajumble. We have these 4 statements. You need to rearrange them to make a coherent paragraph. Amal, no, we cannot highlight text. No, that's not possible. A lot of people feel they find a lot of problem in Parajumbles, but I'll try to make it easy for you. Try to solve it first. नूब गेमर्स, ये क्या हो गया? इतना मीठा क्यों बोल रहे हैं आप? मैं कड़वा बोलता हूँ? So I can see a lot of different answers. Okay, what makes parajumble difficult? देखो, कैट के हर तरह के सवालों में अगर ऑप्शंस हैं तो 4 ही होते हैं, है ना? पैराजम्बल में 24 ऑप्शंस हैं, isn't it? Factorial 4 ways because we are arranging them. Yes or no? 24 तरह के आंसर निकल के सामने आते हैं हमारे सामने, इसी कारण से इसको डिफ़िकल्ट माना जाता है। हालांकि एक समय पे टीटा नहीं हुआ करता था तो उस टाइम ये लोग ऑप्शन दे दिया करते थे, देन इट वॉज वेरी ईजी गेटिंग इट, बट नॉट इट्स बिकम डिफिकल्ट। अग्री? So let's try to read I'll try to solve it and let's see how many of you got the right answer. So my way to solve a parajumble question, an odd out question, is that I look at the smallest statement first. Why? Because there is a pressure of time also. But here all statements are, I think, equally long. 6 lines. यहाँ 5 ही लाइन्स हैं, 5 लाइन्स हैं, 5 लाइन्स हैं। ठीक है, तो एक काम करते हैं। Let's read the first few words. Shorter commutes. This is not always the case. Some see the link between. Okay. इन तीनों में जो छोटे स्टेटमेंट थे, 2 is the one which looks like introducing an idea. Yes or no? Right. Statement 2 is introducing an idea. पहले 3-4 वर्ड पढ़ के समझ में आ चुका है हमें। क्या ये बात? Do you agree to this point? Just by reading the first 3 to 4 words, we got to know that this is introducing an idea. What idea? Shorter commutes. Okay. Shorter commutes support innovation by giving employees more time in the office and greater opportunities for in-person collaboration while removing the physical strain of a long commute. Cool. It has introduced an idea. ज़रूरी नहीं है कि ओपनिंग स्टेटमेंट हो, हमने फर्स्ट तो पढ़ा भी नहीं है अभी तक, समझ में आ रहा है, बट 2 लिख दिया मैंने। Depending on this, I can fix other statements accordingly. Now I'll read 3 or 4 in any order. Let's read 3. This is not always the case. This, ये this क्या है? Where is the pronoun coming from? We're not very sure, right? 3 should not follow 2. That is not possible at all. SV biz, I think you wrote that only. फिर भी 3 पढ़ लेते हैं एक बार। दिस इज नॉट ऑलवेज द केस, ये दिस को हमें लिंक देखना पड़ेगा, ये कहाँ से लिंक हो रहा है। रिमोट वर्क डज नॉट ऑटोमेटिकली लीड टू ग्रेटर क्रिएटिविटी एंड प्रोडक्टिविटी एज ऑफिस वाटर कूलर कन्वर्सेशंस आर ऑल्सो वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर इनोवेशन, राइट। तो थर्ड पॉइंट इज गोइंग अगेंस्ट द आइडिया ऑफ रिमोट वर्क। क्लियर? 3 को मैं यहाँ लिख लेता हूँ, आई एम नॉट श्योर 3 कहाँ आएगा, बट 2 के तो बाद ही आएगा, है ना। तो ये बात कर रहा है इस बारे में कि भाई रिमोट वर्क देने के बाद भी जरूरी नहीं कि आपको प्रोडक्टिविटी बढ़ जाए। इसका मतलब कहीं ना कहीं रिमोट वर्क की बात की गई है। कहाँ की गई है? चलो पढ़ लेते हैं। ओके, 4th one says some see the link between long commutes and productivity as support for work from home scenarios as many workers have grown accustomed to their commute free arrangements during the pandemic. यही पे की गई है, मतलब 4 के बाद 3 के आने की प्रोबेबिलिटी बहुत हाई है। फर्स्ट हमने अभी तक पढ़ा नहीं है। इज दैट क्लियर? सी हाउ लॉजिकल इज इट। और ये लाइन ये पढ़ के मेरे को तो याद आ गया रवि गुप्ता का स्टैंड अप कॉमेडी। हाउ मेनी ऑफ यू आर वर्किंग रिमोटली? अब इतनी गंदी आदत पड़ चुकी है लोगों को रिमोट वर्क करने की, वो भूल चुके हैं, है ना। उनकी कमर के नीचे का हिस्सा काम करना बंद कर चुका है, उन्हें पता ही नहीं कैसे चला जाता है। वर्क फ्रॉम होम, आई हैड इट फॉर 6 months एंड आई कुड रियलाइज आई डिड नॉट इवन गेट अप फ्रॉम द बेड। ओके, सो या ज़रूरी नहीं कि हो पाए। आप वहाँ अकेले बैठे हो, सो रहे होगे, नेटफ्लिक्स देख रहे होगे, यही सब कर रहे होगे, काम थोड़ा बहुत ही कर रहे होगे। लेट्स रीड द ओनली रिमेनिंग सेवन, इज 1. Some company leaders are basing their decisions on locating offices to foster innovation and growth. Locating offices, मतलब इसका मतलब क्या है कि कम्यूट छोटा करना चाहते हैं। As their best performing inventors suffered the greatest productivity losses when their commutes grew longer. ठीक है, ठीक है. सेकेंड वाले ने इंट्रोडक्शन दिया, फर्स्ट वाले ने इस रीज़न के कारण ये बताया कि कुछ कंपनी वाले क्या कर रहे हैं, ऑफिस को रिलोकेट कर रहे हैं ताकि लोगों को कम ट्रैवल करना पड़े. इसी कारण से 1 2 के बाद आएगा. इज दैट क्लियर? आबिदा, 1 is after 2. When did I say it's not? Okay. और उसके बाद 2 और 1 is a pair, 4 and 3 are a pair, but 4 3 will come before 2 1 or not. That is what we have to decide upon. Do we have a link between 1 and 4? कुछ कंपनियां ऐसा कर रही हैं, ठीक है, और कुछ कंपनी वर्क फ्रॉम होम देने की बातें कर रही हैं. इसका मतलब that 1 and 4 are also connected. It is both are talking about decisions. First decision is to relocate the office. Second is to have commute free work from home arrangement. Commute मतलब travel. देवप्रियो, commute करना. How much time do you take to commute? Once you start working, this will become a general word every day. हम commute word हर दिन use कर रहे हैं, पता है? The people are working use it every day. So now I hope things are clear. The 2 1 4 3 is the most ideal and apt sequence that will yield a coherent paragraph. How many of you got that right? So, the last question, I give you the entire insight of VARC and then we solve 2 questions. And I would just like to end the session over here. You need to stay tuned. And now you know what to expect from, committing to happiness now, Rishabh. Yeah, so I think now you know what to expect from the sessions. And at the very same time, now I'll also have to start expecting something from you, isn't it? And that is trust in the process. That's the only thing that I would give you as a suggestion. Okay? So we always need someone who has walked that path earlier and he will tell us how to walk that path again. So that is, I fashionably and for impact I say that is me. So follow and trust in the process and let's go to the place where we all want to go, that is towards the success. I hope you understood everything. Okay, so stay tuned, let's meet again. Good night everyone. Hey Naif. PDF, yeah, of course. Denny, yeah, the homework is to start reading the things that I have told you. That's the homework. Start with Animal Farm. Read the book. Probably it's so interesting that you might be finishing it in 1 weekend itself. Rishabh, Gracia. There batch to start ho chuka hai. These are pre-CAT classes. That is the pedagogy that we follow. These are adding on to your, your preparedness. By the way, tell me, how do you like the class? And I know you must have liked it, but still, in case, looking at the feedback, probably I would add some more elements to the next class. Atif, of course. Yes, on FB. Just go in this description of this video. You will find the link to FB group. You can just click that and join it over there. No, they're not free. They're not free. We are adding up something there. पारस एक बार टी शर्ट दिखा दो. Okay, you can see that. It's about Hulk. This is Hulk. Okay. Bye bye everyone.